form is emptiness, and emptiness is form. Is this statement a paradox? Is it a conundrum? Is it a riddle? If it's a paradox, it can be reconciled. If it's a conundrum, like any puzzle, we can take it apart and put it together again in a way that we can understand it. But if it's a riddle, like was said the other day, we would have to use homeopathy. We would have to use the poison as an antidote to the poison, or using water to remove water from the ear. In a far-off land, there was a man who was kneeling with his head on the ground in prayer when a young woman passed by. But in that far-off land, it's against the law to walk in front of a man who is at prayer. So when the young woman came back that way, the man scolded her roundly, reminding her that it was against the law to pass someone who was in prayer. And she asked him, "What is prayer?" And he said, "When I pray, I think of God." And she said, "Well, when I passed you by, I was on my way to the house of my lover, and I was thinking of him, so I did not see you. Why is it then, if you are thinking of God, that you are able to see me?" And then there was a man who came into a foreign country and was captured as a spy and taken before the king. And the king immediately said, "Chop off his head, kill him, infidel." And the man, who had been up until that time very quiet, began to rant and rave, cursing the king, using every kind of foul language that could come to his mind. But the king didn't know this language, so he did not know what the man was saying. But there were several of his advisors who knew this foreign language. So the king turned to the first advisor and said, "What was he saying?" Now this advisor was a kindly man. And he said, "Oh, monarch, he was shouting to you a verse from the holy book." "Oh," said the king, "what verse was it?" And the advisor said, "He was quoting the verse which said that one should be compassionate and have pity for others, and this compassion and pity would be rewarded." "Oh," said the king, "well, in my position as monarch of this country, I should indeed demonstrate these qualities." let him go free. Release him. But the second advisor, who had heard the ranting, and who was not of good heart, and in fact was jealous of the other advisor, said to the king, Your Highness, he lies. The truth of it is that that man was abusing you with every foul word that he could think of. The king thought for a moment, and he said, Well, I prefer the lie to the truth, because in lying, something good came out of it, and it came from a heart that was kind and good. But the truth came from one who has a black heart and envy. What would these stories have to do with our endeavor to solve, if we can say solve, this statement? Form is emptiness, and emptiness is form. In pondering, is this statement a paradox? Is it a conundrum, a puzzle? Or is it a riddle? And therefore, using a riddle, like the water, to remove water from the air, will allow us to solve it. What do these stories mean for us relative to this statement? Form is emptiness. Emptiness is form.